Welcome back, all you beautiful folks, to yet another episode of your favorite podcast, Wide Right, with your favorite hosts, Silas Jackson.
And Ethan Hutton.
And we have a very special episode ahead. But before we get to our super, very extra special guest, we got to talk about the Super Bowl. The Philadelphia Eagles claimed their second Super Bowl in the last decade with a beating, a domestic dispute versus the Kansas City Chiefs. They just embarrassed Kansas City. Well, yeah, they looked Kansas City. But Jalen Hurts proved everybody wrong. They denied the three-peat. They got to Patrick Mahomes 6 times, got 6 sacks, and they picked him off 3 times? No, he had the fumble. 2 picks and a fumble. Yeah. So we'll get into your thoughts. Lead us off.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I just don't know how you expect me to recover from you calling them Kansas silly. I don't know how you expect me to have a productive conversation.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, that I don't know if you know, but I didn't mean to call them Kansas silly. It just happened to be the sweetest.
You never know, you know.
Back to Kansas silly.
No, I mean,
really throwing Silas off here.
Yeah, this is good. No, I mean the Eagles really just put a.
They ran the table.
Yeah,
they ran the table.
It was really impressive to see.
Offense, defense, and special teams.
Yeah, it was really impressive to see. On their first drive, I was a little concerned because Saquon was not getting going, and he didn't get going.
No, he didn't get going the whole game.
I think that's really, really impressive on the Eagles' part. And I think Jalen Hurts deserves a ton of credit, as does, obviously the Eagles O-line, the Eagles receiver, the rest of the
Nick
Eagles.
Sirianni.
Yeah, the rest of the Eagles team deserves credit, but especially Jalen Hurts, who got a lot of criticism this whole playoff run.
The whole season.
Yep. And yeah, maybe he does have this problem still as a complete player, but dude,
guy's got a Super Bowl ring.
He does, and he does always elevate when he needs to, and he needed to in this one. They sold out for the run. They played for it. They shut it down. They were the only team pretty much all year to do so.
Yep.
And it didn't matter.
Nope, sure didn't.
And the defense, the Eagles' defense plays a big part of that. The Kansas City did not get their second first down until their first drive of the third quarter.
They had their best defensive game of the season in the Super Bowl.
They did, and it just seems like their defense is tailored to stop Kansas City's offense. All year, we've known that Kansas City does not have this big playability. They're all about long, sustained drives and getting yards after catch and
building momentum.
Yeah, and just kind of like wearing a defense down and kind of just capitalizing on Mahomes extending plays and turning what should be maybe a 5-yard loss into a 3-yard gain, and just kind of breaking the back of the defense over the course of the game instead of on 2 or 3 plays. And in this, you see them throwing checkdowns, and they're just tackled immediately. Mm-hmm. And they're getting no run after catch.
That's that War Eagle, man.
Yeah, and Mahomes is getting no time to throw, no places to escape, and nobody's getting open downfield there. The Eagles were playing zone, but
shout out to Vic Fangio, man. They didn't blitz one time.
No,
didn't blitz one time.
Yeah, and 6 sacks, no blitzes. And
Mahomes never had a clean pocket, maybe had a couple a quarter. Crazy impressive performance by the Eagles defense. Shout out to Vic Fangio. He drew up a great game plan. So did Nick Sirianni. Kansas City just could never get anything going, even in the end when they were putting together some garbage time touchdowns. You were just waiting for all right, when are they going to score? When's the game going to get interesting?
And it never did.
Shout out to the bullshit fucking refs for keeping their fucking flags in their pockets this week.
No, the shout out. You definitely see, though, it is nice, at least for me to see, all of the Chiefs' weaknesses realized.
For 60 minutes.
It's just like, all year, you can just point to all these things like, oh my god, they're not real contenders. They're just not, and they just keep
They
winning
just kept
games.
winning.
And there's certain points, there's certain calls you may disagree with, certain calls that they got wrong, but mostly it's just like the infuriating way that they win,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just they don't do anything flashy or special.
I preferred when they were blowing teams out. When
Yeah,
they, when they could.
When
Just
they were at
put
least
up
exciting
40
to
or
watch
50.
rather than scoring 20 and winning by 3 and it looking like they're not even playing well. But
Getting outplayed by the Panthers.
yeah. Well, although so did the Eagles. And so who's your real champion?
Bryce Young. That too. I wrote down some prompts for us to address because this is a game that every Super Bowl you just want to look ahead to the lasting effects it had. I saw people debating all over TV about if the Chiefs could spark or not the Chiefs, the Eagles could spark the next dynasty. I just feel like everyone's so eager to get into the next dynasty. We're just so eager to watch history and everything. Mm-hmm. But that was a historic win. The Eagles.
Oh, it definitely was.
Yeah, it was. I wanna just take a moment to appreciate the Eagles and the way they executed in all 3 phases of the game. That's something we haven't seen in a Super Bowl probably in the last decade, and they just dominated from the get-go. But I talked shit on everyone trying to talk about how the Eagles are the next dynasty, but I did want to talk about how well equipped they are going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think. I mean, obviously. It's easy to say the team who just won the Super Bowl is in the best position next year, but it's easy to see the path for the Eagles to repeat. They're not losing very many players.
They're returning 10 of 11 starters, expected to.
Yeah, so they may. I think Josh Sweat is a free agent. He made himself a lot of money this Super Bowl. Slay. He may be out, but I don't.
That doesn't. They're so deep at corner.
That moves the needle.
And Quinyon Mitchell and DeJean played
so
well.
And their
especially
line is
DeJean.
intact. I think they may have to sign Becton, but all of these things is they have the money to sign these players. They have the quarterback. They've got the skill position everywhere.
Mm-hmm. All locked down.
Yeah, their D line is so good.
Maybe Jerry Jones should take a fucking hint. Look across the division. It's not that hard.
Yeah, he can't see that far.
His cataracts taint his ability to look into the future.
No, I mean, he sucks. But the Eagles,
Cowboys suck.
Yeah, but the Eagles, I think their path for next year is pretty. I mean, it's clear to me, at least.
They're the clear-cut best team in the league, especially after this playoff run they had. I mean, the Rams were really the only team who gave them a fit in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Everyone else, they just breezed by. I mean, Washington's no slouch, and I definitely think they're a clear step ahead of Washington, which says something because Washington's in a great spot. They could definitely make up some ground this offseason. They're going to spend plenty of money. They might add Myles Garrett. I saw everyone saying that he... because they have a ton of money, they have a ton of assets, but you have a clear step ahead of Washington, who has a clear step, maybe even 2 against everyone else in the division. Mm-hmm. So they're just so much more complete than every other team, except maybe Detroit. I mean, injuries plagued Detroit. They were supposed to be where the Eagles were.
Yeah, it's just tough. I mean, you think about Garrett going to Washington, and obviously that puts them into another stratosphere of contender.
Absolutely.
But even then, it's you put Garrett on Washington, and you have one superstar, and then a bunch of sort of mediocre players on that defense. And when you compare it to the Eagles, who maybe they don't have a Myles Garrett level superstar, but they do have all of these other just so upper echelon players at every single phase of their defense.
They're so young too,
and they are, and multiple upper echelon players at every level of their defense. And I think they've drafted so well, I think they are one of the few teams who is just not afraid to take the players who are falling. I mean, they have the Georgia front 7.
Yeah, yeah, they do.
And
then a Big Ten secondary.
Yeah,
pretty much.
You watch the defense. You watch that Georgia defense. You're like, oh, okay. A lot of these guys are going to be high level NFL players. And then just you the draft comes around and like
they were in the car with someone who caused a death.
It's like
driving fast on the highway.
They're falling.
Character issues.
They've got size concerns, character issues, and the
I'm
Eagles.
glad you like that one, Miles.
And the Eagles, they say, you know what? People drunk drive all the time. We want Jalen Carter.
We'll get someone to drive him. That's not the problem.
We eat cheesesteaks all the time. We want Jordan Davis.
Look at the city right now, man.
Yeah.
The city is. I'm happy for Philly though, and like I think the biggest thing is Howie Roseman and how he approaches it, because they were in the Super Bowl 7 years ago, was it, when they beat 7 years ago when they took down the Patriots with like pretty much an entire different team. Like they won with the backup quarterback, Big Dick Nick Foles. He was sweet.
But it was a similar team construction. There were stars all over that defense.
Exactly.
And I think people forget. They say, Nick Foles had a great game and a great playoffs, but they forget that team was still the 1 seed coming out of the NFC for a reason. They had such a crazy defense, and they had really good skill position talent as well. And there's a reason why a backup quarterback could come in and play so well. And that level of team construction has not dropped off. I mean, even the 2022 version of the Eagles was a juggernaut in their own right. Their defense wasn't nearly this level,
right?
But their offense was nuclear that year. It was a different level of, or a different form of this like crazy juggernaut. But it was, and then last year they had the brain drain from Steichen and Gannon. And this year they got it all back, and they got it all better probably than the way they left it.
Yeah.
Oh man, excuse me. You just look at like across the division, right? And the Giants GM is like, well, we're not paying a $40 million quarterback to hand it off to a $12 million running back. And the Eagles are like, okay, well, we'll do it. And,
pretty much took the person who was falling again.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
they weren't going to let Saquon fall very far, but...
No, you mean we can get the best running back in the league for $12 million a year? Okay.
All right,
and I think it just goes to show, like, I think a lot of people and a lot of teams are really obsessed with this idea of positional value. Mm-hmm. And it's
the running backs are on the come up.
The Eagles they're coming back. It's like if you get an All-Pro, it doesn't matter where they play. They are an All-Pro. Same thing with Bond. Mm-hmm. It's like a pass coverage middle linebacker, not the most valuable position, but he's so good at linebacker that it doesn't matter where he plays. DeJean, slot corner, okay, but he's a fucking All-Pro.
He's like a chess piece. He's so sweet.
And it's like just like all of these things, like D tackle,
they have a lot of chess pieces,
running back, and it just they've built it out so unbelievably well, and I think they are in a really good spot going forward.
I do too. I think they're like the NFC has got to be like just the favorite, like the future's favorite in terms of like Super Bowl picks. I mean, obviously in the AFC you have Kansas City and Buffalo, but it just feels like from top to bottom rosters, the NFC and then like the big three of the NFC is so much safer to bet on, and especially when you have teams rising like Washington and Minnesota and teams who are really starting to emerge. Mm-hmm. But you pretty much covered all of it in terms of Howie Roseman and how he's built this roster out. Yeah. I think the biggest thing for them, they're going to have to replace Kellen Moore, which we're about to get to. Vic Fangio, they can probably get back, which would be a huge boot because all the what's he going to do? Go head coach fucking UTSA? Mm-hmm. I don't think so.
No, yeah, I was just talking about this earlier. It's really important for the Chiefs as well. You have these old coordinators who nobody wants as head coaches because they sucked.
Yeah.
As head coaches, say like Fangio, like nobody wants to run him back. He was not very good, and,
no.
And like Spags wasn't good, and
he was even good in Miami though. Fangio.
Yeah,
but they were banged up too.
Mm-hmm. And like for the Chiefs, like Nagy's bad. Like Nagy was a bad head coach, but a good OC is like all of these things. Like they're so important to keeping the rosters in line, and the Eagles have a big piece of that because I mean they're going to have Fangio for at least one more year because he's a little older and people are valuing the youth and the offensive minds. And I don't know where they're gonna go with OC. I wonder if they'll do an internal hire.
Yeah,
I wonder if they'll get like
hire
Jeff
in-house.
Stoutland. He's been really good for them for a long time, run game coordinator. But I don't know where they're gonna go, and it's hard to say like this team is coordinator proof because they weren't just as recently as last year.
Right.
You know, pretty much same roster. I mean, obviously no Saquon and no Bond and. I mean, no, I guess it's not the same roster at all. Their good players weren't there, but I mean, like
They filled necessary holes.
They had a really good roster last year, and they got blown out in the wild card. It just makes you wonder.
Fell apart.
Yeah, and that's like where the concerns with Sirianni were coming in. Like, what does he actually do? Is he?
He showed what he did, and I like what you said about coordinators who like don't necessarily make it as head coaches because they've been around on the block, and I think the biggest key for really any head coach in the NFL is establishing their culture, and I think these OCs and DCs who have been around the block, just kind of these earn their stripes guys on your coaching staff can help you really. They play an underrated role in really enforcing that culture and getting that culture out. I think even Spags, like he's like right alongside Andy Reid and even Nagy. He's been there for the better like 6 years now. I think 4, 5, 6 somewhere in there. And I mean Fangio, he's brought his culture everywhere. I mean even when he was even when he was a head coach, he had pretty damn good defenses. And I think the same goes for my boy Cliff Kingsbury, man. I mean, he brought the fuck out of that culture.
Well,
he brought the swag to Washington.
He did.
Can't spell Washington without swag.
You're breaking me down, man. I'm gonna end this podcast in tears at this rate.
All right. We'll move on. So Kellen Moore, he's going to NOLA. He fell in love with the city so much that he just didn't hop back on the flight. He just stayed. Like he won the Super Bowl, and 12 hours later, he was the Saints head coach. So that was our last our last coaching hire.
A match made in heaven. I know he always wanted to play with Derek Carr.
Did you see the like everyone posting the stat line from the Boise State Fresno State?
I did see that. I bet there's going to be a lot of stat lines looking like that this year for New Orleans.
I just wanted to bring up the point that I bet a lot of motherfuckers don't know that Kellen Moore is the all-time winningest quarterback in college football history. 52-3 record. Do your homework on Kellen Moore.
He's been cutting up in the NFL too. He's always been a good mind.
So, how do you think he? I mean, obviously the Saints have. They had to have hired him for the long term because they are not a short term rebound team.
Yeah, but you wouldn't think so. I mean, I don't know. You wouldn't think the Panthers have hired coaches who are like, oh, I mean, obviously they're going to get. Oh no, fired mid-season. Obviously he's in it for the long run, and then
the Matt Rule effect.
Yeah, these owners, I don't think they have that same concept of long-term, short-term. They want to win, and for Kellen Moore, and maybe they are in it for the long term. I don't know, but for Kellen Moore's perspective, I just wonder why this team? Why not stick with your Super Bowl winning roster and wait for a better job to open next year? Because after you've got to think another successful year next year with the Eagles, he's going to have his pick of the litter.
5 to 7 jobs open every year.
Yeah, and you gotta think he's going to have his pick of best team.
Yeah,
after you.
He would be like the Ben Johnson of this cycle.
Yeah,
he could go anywhere he wanted.
Instead, you just take the Saints job. I understand it's more money, and
dude, I'm telling you, he fell in love with the city, man. Maybe he was hitting up the NOLA strip clubs. Where was Kellen Moore 12 hours before the Super Bowl kicked off? I need to know.
I want to check in on that investigation. That reporter was where was Kellen Moore at the time?
Did you ever see that episode of South Park where Cartman was afraid of Token for not liking Black Panther, and he was doing the poetry? He was like, "I was not the bullet, I was not the gun." That's gonna be Kellen Moore. at slam poetry clubs in New Orleans,
Yeah,
ducking the allegations.
Is he even going to coach? He's just going to hang out in New Orleans. He's going to send a proxy to the games.
Nola guy, yeah.
With like a sticky note with his. It's like Aaron Glenn's call sheet is just a sticky note that says "man" man coverage.
Oh, that's funny. I think Kellen Moore is going to be pretty sweet for like Alvin Kamara. I mean, Alvin
Kamara is going to be electric next year. Your first,
but I think in a division with like the NFC South,
they're going to rush their way to 4 wins. Alvin Kamara, 12 targets a game.
They're going to score half their points on the season in their first 2 games again.
They're consistent.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, the Saints suck. But New Orleans must be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I just for him. I mean, maybe he did fall in love with the city.
Dude, had to.
He must have, because man, that's a really uninspiring job.
All right, I think the last thing to get into about the Super Bowl is the impact it had on the Chiefs.
I mean, it's normally, like the Super Bowl fallout's like a big discussion. I think it still is this year.
They looked bad.
They looked really bad.
They've looked bad in both their Super Bowl losses.
Mm-hmm. And in this one, it was like in that Bucs game, I can pretty confidently say I don't think Mahomes played bad in the Bucs game. His O-line fell apart again.
He didn't play great, but he didn't play this bad.
No, I mean, obviously, he could have made a couple of the easier throws, but, I mean, he made some of the greatest throws of all time in the Super Bowl, and just say they were just dropped, and his O-line was just getting detonated. And his O-line got detonated again in this game. It's and he's running around and scrambling, and it's okay, but where's the crazy throw? Where's the crazy throw? And he's he launches back, and, he's on the run, really not even under pressure, and he just throws it to a place on the field where there's only Cooper DeJean standing there. And it's well, I don't know, where's the nuclear arm that everyone comes to expect? And it's not like he's lost it. I just wonder.
Hot take, he has.
I mean,
Patrick Mahomes lost it. He lost the juice.
I wonder though, if he's gotten so used to this, in structure, get the ball out quick mode, that when his O-line fails him and he's forced to make a play and his weapons on the outside are not this elite level that he was used to earlier in his career, once things go downhill, I wonder if he, I mean, this is all just speculation, but I wonder if he gets a little overwhelmed because the guys out there aren't equipped for it and he's not as used to it. But then going forward, next year he's going to be getting paid $66 million a year. This will be the first year in this big contract of his where he's getting paid like he's Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And, I mean, obviously,
he
the
hasn't
Chiefs,
been.
Yeah, and for the Chiefs.
This season, anyway.
Yeah, for the Chiefs, you gotta, it's not a bad thing that you're paying him, but you are.
No. Yeah.
And for the O-line, right, Juwan Taylor's their third highest paid player, and he stinks.
Well, I wonder if this loss where Patrick didn't play particularly well, if this is going to be the game that makes them wake up and realize that one solid offseason is all it would take to just overhaul their offense. And I mean more than just bringing in Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
I mean, they signed Kareem Hunt off the street because they had to, but that was their only move. They got D-Hop, he's not D-Hop anymore. I was going to say he stinks, but I don't want D-Hop to hate me.
I think we're safe, dude. I think we're safe. That would be a boner, though.
Yeah, I can't have D-Hop hating me. If there's one receiver I can't take hating me, it's probably AB. D-Hop's a close second, though.
If CTE, if you're listening, please.
I just want to win Cracker of the Week one time.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't even know how to follow that up, but.
Yeah.
No,
this is anyway. This is a pretty deep draft class, and I think there's plenty of holes to fill. Travis Kelce is not 30 anymore; he's going on 35. Hollywood Brown still sucks at football.
After all these years.
Yeah, they had a chance to realize that. DeAndre Hopkins is also old.
I do think I think Worthy is a promising player.
Definitely. He had a really good game. He was pretty much the lone bright spot. He had a really good game.
I just think they need to stop trading away all their good players in the offseason. They let Snead walk, or they didn't let him walk. I guess they traded him, but
it was that or let him walk.
Yeah, and so it's I understand, you can survive letting these guys walk when you have Mahomes and Andy Reid. But at a certain point, when you're in the clutch and you need to stop, and you've got Justin Watson on Devontae Smith in Super Bowl, you wish you had L'Jarius Sneed.
That would be nice.
When Jahan Dotson is running a stop and go in the red zone and Justin Watson is tripping over himself, you wish you had L'Jarius Sneed. Is that $20 million worth it to make two crucial stops? And maybe it is, and maybe it's not.
The three-peat might have been worth $20 million.
And it's just like, you obviously you can recoup these players. It's not impossible, but
they invested heavily into their O-line, and their O-line did not
and their
perform
interior
very well.
O-line is really good, but eventually these guys are going to demand money. Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey are going to demand money, and Joe Tooney's already getting paid big bucks.
Yeah.
And Jawan Taylor's already getting paid big bucks, and he's not good.
Yeah, I was going to say their perimeter sucks.
And you've got like all of these investments, and they're not really that good. And then you look at all of the things, it's like you could have paid Tyreek Hill $30 million and just survive with like a dog shit right tackle like what you just have now. And like you would have Tyreek Hill, or like you could have like taken a pay cut at right tackle and still had a really, really like elite corner room with L'Jarius Sneed. And it just, of course you can get these guys back, but there's only so many out there, there's only so many top 10 corners.
They
There's
do
only
draft pretty well.
They really do. They really do.
It's hard to bite the bullet and just kind of pay those guys when you draft as well as like
it
a
is.
team
And
like
especially
the Chiefs do.
and Patrick Mahomes sets you a certain floor.
Absolutely.
In every single season, and Andy Reid sets you a certain floor. And like when you have these guys, you're never going to miss the playoffs.
Yeah,
pretty much if Mahomes is healthy, and just so it is hard to shell out that crazy money when you'd rather kind of just build out the roster as a whole rather than have a couple stars speckled here and there. And it is. I just think they need to make a big move on offense in the offseason to make me really excited about them next year.
T. Higgins would be so sweet for
I just don't
dude.
think he'd go there.
No, I don't think. I don't think like. I think like a lot of people don't like the Chiefs. Like I think a lot of like people inside the NFL don't like the Chiefs.
Well, I mean, there's also some things like a lot of players I think would love to go there because that's probably their best chance of getting a ring in the next 5 years. But like for T. Higgins, is like the Bengals are a rifle. I don't think he'd want to go there. But yeah, I mean, they need a receiver for sure.
They could draft one. There's plenty of talent in this year's class. But they just I don't know. I did want to talk about, a lot of people were talking about Patrick Mahomes' legacy, and like it to me it felt like everyone thought that if he won this game he was just gonna be the GOAT, which I never felt that way.
No, I
but
didn't
it
either.
seemed like a lot of people kind of like were insinuating that, which is like a three-peat's cool, but it also shows you how hard it is to make history in the NFL because instead of getting a three-peat, they got blown out and absolutely embarrassed.
And now
in the Super
everyone's
Bowl.
like shitting on Mahomes, and saying like he was never any good after all.
Yeah,
and it's like
that's
it's
blasphemy because he is good. He's won 3 Super Bowls in
and
7
it
years
just
or 8
sucks
years.
because like to a certain degree, right? The Super Bowl is just one game, and anybody is like you can have a bad game, but it is the biggest game. And Mahomes has had 2 really bad ones now. But I think it does speak almost to his credit that when he plays like shit, the Chiefs lose.
Yeah.
And just like the Bucks and the Eagles have very comparable defenses in terms of just like that Bucks team just shut them down completely.
Yeah.
But I mean, like going forward, I mean, we got to remember, like, after Brady won, what was it? He won his 3rd. He didn't win one for a decade. And then in the like mid to late 2010s, he went on another run.
Yeah,
so
and then
it's a really hard. In the AFC, I mean, I know you were talking about earlier. The NFC, I agree with. They've got the rosters, but the AFC's got the quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I think all the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL are all AFC quarterbacks at this point.
I was gonna
like it's just like it's not easy, like that. Just like, oh, the Chiefs will be back next year. It's like, I don't know. Allen's gonna win one eventually. Lamar's gonna win one eventually.
Yeah,
like Burrow's gonna be back, and
this is like, especially after Brady went through the drought, this is what kind of everyone thinks is gonna happen. But kind of like shifting it like to like the GOAT debate. This like just like where do you think do you think he's still 2?
In terms of, I mean, at this point in his career, if he were to keep on this track, yeah. I mean, it's hard to say like right
like
now.
everyone,
I mean,
like it's just like.
but like, how do you not have him? He's a 3-time MVP, a 3-time, or is it
Everyone was
2-time MVP? But whatever.
2-time MVP, yeah. Everyone was bringing like Joe Montana's name back, and like it's just everyone forgets Joe Montana has 4 Super Bowls, and he has 4 Super Bowl MVPs, and he has 2 league MVPs, and Joe Montana was sweet.
Yeah, and I just think
put Joe Montana back at 2.
No, I'm like it just. I think at this point, he is on the trajectory to be the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
But he's not yet. And he needs to do it before everyone puts him on the pedestal. Or, like, throws him off of the conversation entirely.
I hope he fucking doesn't so bad.
Yeah, no, I hope he fails miserably. I hope they trade him.
Trade him to the Jets.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome. Trade him for the Jets for like, I don't even know.
Their number 6 pick and draft Jalen Milroe. Jackson Dart to Kansas City over Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, but Jesus Christ. Yeah, sit him for a year behind Matt Moore.
Matt Moore's earned the job. He's been sitting for long enough.
Matt Moore would have won that game. He would have stayed on time.
Oh, all right. Well, that pretty much covers it for the NFL. The NFL season's coming to a close, so we'll leave all the speculation and our awesome analytical takes for future episodes.
Indeed.
So we can not run out of content.
Yeah, pretty much.
But kicking it into the college game, I just feel there's a little tidbit of big news we had to break. I don't know if you saw this, but there is a new stout-ass defensive coordinator in Columbus, and his name is Matt Patricia.
I did not hear about this.
The Ohio State Buckeyes replaced Jim Knowles, who left for Penn State after I told him he could have a place to stay in my house if he ever needed it. Left for Penn State, and the Buckeyes are bouncing back in a big way. They're bringing a guy with Super Bowl experience and also head coaching experience in Matt Patricia.
Because the Buckeyes, too, would like to go on a drought. Yeah, speaking of droughts, we brought in Matt Patricia. Wait, look, dude.
What's the problem?
If you ever want anybody who, like, when you look up aura in the thesaurus and you go to antonyms, it's just a picture of Matt Patricia. I just feel like nobody at this point respects him in the locker room.
Well, it's good because all these players coming in are going to be like 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds. They're just going to have no idea who he is.
Oh, they're going to know.
I'm going to tell them.
You can't see that Cookie Monster-looking face and not know it's Matt Patricia.
It's...
That motherfucker.
I like the signing. I mean, dude, there's only a handful of players. There's only a handful of guys they could have got. Ryan Day couldn't even look at the defensive side of the ball if he wanted to.
He barely looks at the offense.
Exactly. I mean, Matt Patricia, say what you want, he sucks, yeah, but he was a pretty good coordinator for the better part of 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, look.
That's all they need, man. That's all they need.
I mean,
it's a familiar system too. It's a similar system.
He's not an inspiring figure.
Oh God no. Dude, Chip Kelly's their offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
was. Do you think they're going for aura? You think Ryan Day cares about aura?
I guess not. They just had Will Howard. I guess they weren't really looking for aura.
You can fucking cool it. You watched that Dr. Pepper commercial. Will Howard's got the sauce.
All right, man. Is there anything else we can talk about in college football?
Oh, college football?
Or whatever. Just get me out of Columbus. I'm starting to tear up already.
All right, well, we'll move it to our last little tidbit of updated information since the NBA trade deadline. big notice to everyone who was as mistaken as we were. The Lakers are not getting Mark Williams. Repeat, not getting Mark Williams.
Because the Hornets poisoned him and made him fail his physical.
Mark Williams couldn't bend over and touch his toes, so the trade the trade for Dalton Connect and Cam Reddish was vetoed. Silas, as a Hornets fan, are you relieved or are you sad that Connect 4 is not going to be hitting the 910 anytime soon?
I mean, I guess a little bit of both, just because I like Dalton Connect. But it's just like, in terms of like roster construction, I'd rather have Mark Williams, I think. But although missing out on that 30-31 first-round pick is a real blow.
Yeah, it is. That could have gotten you a sweet sixth grader, one of the top ones in the country.
I know. We're always the Charlotte Hornets are always looking at sixth graders.
I wanted to quote some information I saw that I found hilarious. The Hornets traded Mark Williams for a lack of effort, and I don't know who does the Hornets broadcasting, but they brought up the fact that versus the Pistons, Mark Williams, or no, it was against, who did Jonas Valanciunas play for before the Kings? Whoever Jonas Valanciunas played for, they were playing the Hornets. Mark Williams got switched off of Jonas Valanciunas because he was getting bodied, got switched on to, whoever their power forward was, and then got benched for not closing out on the power forward who buried 3 threes over Mark Williams. But
look, man,
in Mark Williams' defense, that could just be the spirit that the Charlotte sucking the life out of him. Could just be a diminishing spirit.
You can't hardly blame him.
No, God.
I wouldn't try either if I was.
Maybe he just had a bet going on. Maybe the broadcaster was just overreacting. Maybe the guy was just trying to piece together a little parlay. All right. Well, sucks for the Lakers, but they didn't take long to rebound. They picked up Alex Len. So what do you think about that move?
Silas look up who is Alex Len.
Dude, Alex Len is a former. I think he was the number 4 overall pick in the 2013 NBA draft.
Let's see. So his stats here.
I think he went to Indiana.
So he's averaging 1.4 points a game, 1.8 rebounds.
Okay, dude. Okay.
0.8 assists, but 53.7 field goal percentage, which is pretty good.
He was the number 5 pick in the 2013 NBA draft.
He in his.
Oh, it was Sacramento. Okay, but now he's going to LA. Nice.
So in his most recent game against the Magic, Alex Len's stats: 2 minutes, 0.0 assists, 0 rebounds. I gotta say he's probably gonna make an impact for LA.
Well, you gotta think Sacramento has this little valuable thing called front court depth. He's probably going to see like 20 minutes a game in LA because the guy ahead of him is literally just Jackson Hayes.
I mean, yeah, it's scary to see it's scary to think about what this kind of efficiency can do on 20 minutes a game. Look, he's gonna run the court. Yeah, I've changed my opinion. He may even average over 5 points a game at the end of this season. Right. It's gonna go crazy.
All right, smart ass. We can let's keep it in LA. All right, the Lakers. Did you watch Luka's debut?
I saw him. I didn't watch it, but I did see the.
They blew out the Jazz.
Yes.
Yeah. So he had about 14 points. He hardly didn't play, but the Lakers did win 132-113. Luka had 14 points, 5 boards, and 4 assists in just 24 minutes. He didn't shoot particularly well, but he's also been out since Christmas. Mm-hmm. The Lakers have won 12 of the last 13, I think.
Yep.
11 of the last 12. What do you like? Is it over for LA? I guess I'm asking. Do you think the Lakers are finals contenders with Luka?
I mean, I think so.
With a game under their belt?
It's just hard to, it's hard to say that they're not with I don't know if
They
it's the
meshed
greatest.
really well. They meshed together a lot
I
better
saw
than I
him
thought
miss
they
a
would.
couple of like lobs to LeBron. Um, it just like I think it's just going to take a little bit of time for them to get used to each other.
Yeah.
But I mean, Luka hit some really good passes. It's always been his thing.
There's still about 30 games left in the season,
Yeah.
31 or 32, give or take, whatever team you're on. But LA currently has the 4th seed in the West. They're tied with Houston for the 4th and 5th seed, but Houston has been not playing such great basketball. Memphis is quietly the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, which I didn't know. But I really like Los Angeles, man. I think that they're going to have to navigate the buyout market. They need another big. If you think Alex Len and Jackson Hayes are going to get you to the fucking finals, you are dead fucking wrong. Especially in the West. They're going to have to make their way through Chet Holmgren or Jokic or Şengün or big Ivica Zubac for the Clippers. So there's plenty of front court.
Daunting.
Yeah, there's plenty of front court dogs to navigate out west. Especially in the latter. But I don't know. The Lakers they're funny.
They got
they're a silly little team.
You're forgetting when Bronny catches fire in the playoffs.
Yeah, Bronny's gonna hit the Ray Allen 3 like from Miami.
When he hits the buzzer beater brick to send the Lakers home, it's gonna be historical.
But before we hit the rest of our NBA talk, I don't know how much more we have. We're just going to give a special shout out to the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are up 68-43 over the Raptors at halftime.
We're gonna
Fuck Drake. Fuck the Six.
Can you give another special shout out to the Hornets, who are down by 8 in the third quarter, and I bet money on them. Please,
Dude,
whoever's listening, do not take my betting advice ever.
No, don't say that. Okay, there's still time. Miles Bridges has 16 points on 5 of 19 shooting. Someone should get the ball out of his hands.
I mean, look, yeah.
Someone should give the ball to Elfrid Payton. But we do have a few more NBA signings that I did want to get to.
Uh-huh.
Big Ben Simmons. We mentioned with Dad that Ben Simmons might be in the running to go to Cleveland. He's not. He's going to the other option in the Clippers. The Clippers, they got some depth. The Clippers are, I don't know, man. They're making some noise in the West. And with Kawhi, they're just interesting. I don't know that Ben Simmons really moves the needle towards a finals appearance, but
No, I don't think it does. But if you're looking to make noise, Ben Simmons does that extremely well.
yeah, for a team meeting the Saints in cap hell, the Clippers they're faring off much better than New Orleans. But it's a funny signing. I would have thought he would have signed with a team that was like, the number 1 team in the East. But Ben Simmons doesn't like Ohio. It's because he would have had to play against Philly and gotten booed. His ego can't handle that.
All he does is get booed. No, I mean,
Dude, I don't boo Ben Simmons.
That if people remember he's on the court.
Dude, if Ben Simmons went to Cleveland, it's on. Oh well, I was gonna say it's a 10-point game right now. By the way, the Magic are leading the Hornets 80-70.
I'm glad they've progressed.
But Josh Green just got a bucket, so they were down by 12.
Well.
But I don't know, man. Fuck Ben Simmons. Why wouldn't he come to Cleveland? Cleveland's sweet. The Cavs are they're gonna win yet another game. We have one more signing to get to, and this guy might be in the running for a replacement of mine for Goat of the Week. I previously said Sam Merrill, but former number 3 overall pick in the NBA. Former 76ers superstar, 2015-16 NBA All-Rookie member Jahlil Okafor is making his return to the NBA after signing a 10-day contract with the Indiana Pacers. Jahlil Okafor has been fucking hooping in the G League. He's been getting straight buckets.
Yep.
So,
this is big news.
In the G League this season, Jahlil Okafor is averaging 18.6 points, shooting 66% from the field, shooting 40% from beyond the arc. He's grabbing 9.3 boards per game and dishing out 3.1 assists. This just skyrockets the Pacers' chances to get back to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Look, man, I mean, the NFL season's only been over 2 days. I can't believe we're already down to this. It's gotta be.
Hold on. We can probably get some more.
I didn't ask for more. I just...
All right. There is a little bit more to talk about. Kevin Durant scored his 30,000th career point. I think he was the eighth player in NBA history to eclipse 30,000 career points. He was like flirting with the idea of going for 40K at his post game presser. Man, he hit 30K. He realized.
I mean, what else does KD have to do but hoop? Like, the guys, I think he would just like the skin is just gonna like melt from his bones, and it's gonna turn out he was just like a robot this whole time. Like after he retires, like he's never been like a person, dude. He doesn't have a life outside of basketball. He's never gonna retire.
Dude, I hope he doesn't. So he's averaging 27 a game. He's only 36.
That's true. He's got plenty of time left.
Yeah. So he's leaving Phoenix. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Everyone's saying Kevin Durant's out on Phoenix because they were shopping him at the trade deadline, and that made him mad. So he's gonna leave.
Smoke screen knew this was gonna happen. Nobody scrolls Twitter like KD.
well, I think Phoenix was trying to tempt him back in by moving Yusuf Nurkic, but it turns out that
I feel like that's not going to work out.
So he could go to Houston. Apparently Dallas is a dark horse to sign him. I also saw Dallas was a dark horse to sign LeBron.
I hope that. I really hope that.
That would be the funniest team in NBA history. But I don't know. Kevin Durant could probably push 40K.
I mean, I think he could get to 35 pretty easy.
I think he's a dude who could play till he's 40. Cause he doesn't like. His game is just so fucking fluid, dude. Kevin Durant's a dog. Kevin Durant, you should come to Cleveland. You're the missing piece.
Yeah.
I think there was one more thing. Hold on. I gotta go back to my NBA news Google search.
Yeah. We're cooking.
I think that's it. We're almost to All-Star Weekend. Mac McClung's coming back for the dunk contest to defend his 2-year title, won it back-to-back years. Do you think Mac McClung's gonna do what Kansas City couldn't in three-peat?
I mean, dude, he's got to be
We're reaching the depths.
I got nothing, man.
We are absolutely reaching the depths. We should just stay on and keep talking.
Yeah, the 8-hour Super Bowl special. We haven't talked about the Super Bowl in 6.5 hours.
Oh,
please.
Man. I think that's gonna be all.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna close it there, guys. We're gonna let you get into our special guest segment. Please give a warm, wide right welcome to my father, Dennis. Until next week, we have been wide right. All right, we're back. We're moving on to the Steelers quarterback wish list, you could say. Give me 3 Steelers quarterbacks that you guys would like, relatively realistic, that are not named Justin Fields.
I'll let Pops go first. He's more of a Steelers guy.
All right.
Not Steelers?
Just not named Justin Fields.
You know what? I don't know. Sam Darnold, I mean, I wouldn't bring him in. He's going to command pretty much.
The Steelers have a salary cap for the first time in a while.
Okay, are you paying Sam Darnold top money?
I'd give Sam Darnold $25 million a year.
That's not top money, though.
That's not top money. You guys think he's going to command more than that? Maybe 30, 35?
I don't reckon he does, man. The final is 50% of your grade, right? And his last 2 games were dog shit.
So yeah, but look at Kirk Cousins. What has he done in his career? But look what he commanded. What has he done? What has Captain Kirk done, Ethan?
Talk to him.
I'm just saying, what has he done?
Talk to him.
You know Captain Kirk has more game-winning drives than Joe Montana?
How many rings does he have again?
That's not entirely his fault.
How many playoff wins does he have?
Yeah.
How many playoff wins?
One?
He has
two?
one. He has one.
Okay, he's got he's got one under the belt.
He's got one under the belt more recently than the Steelers do. Oh shit! Yeah.
So does Kevin Stefanski has one more
Doesn't matter.
than Mike Tomlin in the last 8 years.
Yeah, sure does. Look what happened to Stefanski. He's gone. He's out of there.
He won Coach of the Year twice.
Twice, didn't he? Yeah. 2 times. What
times
Tomlin
Coach of the
won? What?
What year has Tomlin won Coach of the Year?
Easy?
How many Super Bowl rings does Tomlin have? How many Super Bowl rings does Tomlin have? This one. Fuck both of you guys, alright? Kirk's fucking sweet, alright?
Fucking blows.
Kirk does not fucking blow.
I'm
Kirk's
just
gonna make
saying.
the fucking blow. Fuck both you bombarding motherfuckers.
you
You know what? I was prepared for this day. I was prepared for this day. Kirk's made 4 Pro Bowls, alright? Kirk's made 4 Pro Bowls, alright? He's an all-pro second teamer, alright? And there's still room in his career. So fuck both of you guys.
Kirk has a private residence in Cancun.
Yeah, he sure does. It's because he can afford it, man.
Because he stays home all that fucking important games.
No, hey, it's nice there. It's nice there. He likes to go on.
Let me stretch out on my hammock and watch the playoffs.
all right. So give me. I take it. Kirk is not one of your guys' 3 Steelers quarterback options.
No.
All right, I'll lay out my 3 real quick. Zach Wilson.
Oh my God.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah,
Right.
he beat Tomlin too.
Oh my God.
He,
All right.
he has, yeah.
Listen, man, I'm going for semi-realistic. Y'all are some fucking haters. I'll just skip this
You got
segment.
Jared Stidham on there, too?
I'll just skip this segment. You mean the Jet? Yeah, I sure do.
He's got Nathan Peterman.
No, I had.
There just isn't.
I had Kyler, and I had fucking Zach Wilson, and I don't know, man, Drew Lock. I'm not hearing any other options. I'm hearing crickets out of you folks.
I would just sign Justin Fields. I know you said anybody but Justin Fields. I don't
What if
see
they
anybody.
can't what if
I
they
don't
can't get
see
him?
anybody. I'd make sure they.
Flacco. What if they can't get
Oh,
him?
my
He might
God.
leave. They benched him.
Well,
They
that's
benched
Tomlin's dumbass fault.
It's not Tomlin's dumbass fault. They went 7-0 after that. 6-0.
6-1. But at any rate, there just isn't any.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
There just isn't any better option out there right now than Justin Fields at this point.
Jalen Milroe. No, I'm just playing.
I mean, unless you do
all right.
trade for Kyler Murray, but you're going to give up way too much.
We're gonna skip the Justin Tucker talk. Justin Tucker sucks and might be the next Deshaun Watson. We'll loop back around that in a future episode when we have more time.
Russ up next.
All right. So the new Hall of Fame ballots came out. All right. Sterling Sharp's getting in. That's pretty sweet. Eli Manning was left off the ballot. Do you guys think Eli should have been a first ballot Hall of Fame?
Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely.
Wow. Absolutely. Dude, this is the last guy. Wow. Okay.
Really?
Defend your why?
He's got 2 rings.
He never made an All-Pro.
He beat Tom Brady when it counted.
Did he beat Tom Brady, or did David Tyree in the defense beat Tom
Who
Brady?
threw the ball?
Yeah, he threw it into triple coverage.
Doesn't matter. Was it complete? I want to throw it out there. Was that completed?
That might be the one-liner in wide right history.
So you think he also dimed up Odell on that deep ball?
Hey, I mean,
Completed, man. He completed it.
it made one hell of a highlight for Odell, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did.
Without him throwing that ball,
Because the ball was right there.
would you have seen it all over? For what? You still see it all over. Shit, how long's it been?
So you think Eli's first ballot?
I would have put him in.
I would.
I'll put him. I mean, I don't even.
He's a Hall of Famer.
He should be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I can't put
First
him
ballot
first
is a
ballot
lot.
that.
Why?
Because he's.
What other quarterback out there has 2 Super Bowl rings? I'm just saying. What other quarterback out there has got 2 Super Bowl rings?
Fuck, man. Chad Henne has one.
No, I'm talking a bona fide starter in the Super Bowl.
I don't know. Flacco has one. There you
He's
go.
got one.
Okay, so
Look, I don't even I just don't think Eli Manning was a consistently elite
Eli
quarterback.
was
the whole
never
scope of
he
his
was never
career.
top 5. Eli was never a top 5
He
quarterback.
was never
in the
an
NFL.
All-Pro, not even a second team.
Yeah, not even never led the NFL in passing in completion percentage, passing yards, or passing touchdowns. Led the league in interceptions 3 times.
Guy had 57,000 yards, 360 some
I'm not even-
touchdowns.
He's
Two-time
definitely a Hall of
Super
Famer.
Bowl champion.
Definitely a Hall of Famer. Not for so. Is Eli Manning on the same wavelength as Dan Marino? Just because he's got 2 rings?
Well, Dan Marino don't have 1 ring.
I know.
And he got thrashed in the Super Bowl, the only Super Bowl he went to.
So should that cost him, even though he's one of the best ever, that should cost him from being one of the best ever?
Best ever at what? Throwing for yards?
You think Eli Manning's better than Breeze?
I wouldn't say. I mean, when you guys come down to it, what counts as a Hall of Fame quarterback? What counts? If rings don't count, what counts?
Individual accolades. Those count?
It takes more than one player to win a ring.
I think Ben is first. What about Ben? Do you think Ben's first ballot? I think Ben's first ballot.
Ben's first ballot, but what separates Ben from Eli Manning?
Being elite for
Being
the whole
elite,
of his
yeah.
career.
Ben was top 5 for the majority of his career. Ben was top 5. Eli might not have even been top 10.
I'm talking. Well, you guys are looking at it separately than I am. I'm talking end results. End results is, Ben's got 2 Super Bowls. Eli's got 2 Super Bowls. Phillip Rivers, how many Super Bowls does he have? You putting him in first ballot?
No, I'm not.
I don't think so.
I'm not putting Phillip Rivers.
But if
in
he had
first
2
ballot.
Super Bowls, would you?
Still probably not.
I mean,
Because
I don't know.
he would be Eli Manning then.
What?
If Phillip Rivers had 2 Super Bowl rings, he'd be Eli Manning.
Well,
Good.
I think Phillip Rivers is better than Eli Manning.
But I mean,
I don't think
I'm not disagreeing that he was. I'm not disagreeing he was better than
think
Eli
the fact
Manning, but
that-
it's not like Eli Manning's a bum.
No,
I think
I
the
didn't
fact
say
that-
that.
He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. I mean,
I think the
He
fact
should
that
be a
there
Hall
is
of Famer, but not a
absolutely
first ballot.
should be a
and you also have to look at the fact in those 2 Super Bowls, who's the MVP?
That's true.
that
true.
I can't.
He performed. He performed well when it counted.
And that's like Terry Bradshaw.
Flacco performed.
Terry
well when it counted.
Bradshaw, I've watched, I grew up
Flacco
of course, in
I
the
feel-
70s, and
Terry
I watched
Bradshaw
Terry Bradshaw.
sucks.
Terry Bradshaw, wait a minute. Terry Bradshaw was absolute dog
wait a
shit.
minute.
He was absolute dog shit in many games I've seen him play in.
Oh yeah.
But what separates him from the boys is the fact that he was 14-5 in the playoffs, 4 Super Bowls that he won, and he performed at a high level all through the playoffs and in each of those Super Bowls.
Doesn't he also have 2 MVPs though? For the 2 years that he didn't throw 30 picks, doesn't he have 2 MVPs?
Regular season,
Yeah, he has an MVP or 2.
I think he's got 1.
Okay, there
I
you
think
go. He's got an
that's-
MVP.
I think he
One
won
more than Eli.
Exactly, he's got an MVP.
Look, he's never.
Terry Bradshaw was also in the 70s one of the best quarterbacks in the league. You got to look at it through the scope.
he was.
Terry Bradshaw was.
You could have put, you could have put Ben Roethlisberger back in time, back in the 70s, behind that O-line and with that defense. Shit, they might have never lost a game.
Ben had that though. Ben had that defense, and that not to the same extent, but the 08 defense is one of the best
Yeah,
defenses of all time.
That's
But-
true.
but
getting
Ben was
getting back
also-
to Eli, I absolutely put him in as the first ballot.
I can't. He's a Hall of Famer. I can't.
Just
can't get
2-time Super Bowl champion
For me-
plus MVP, and
For me, the fact that there's a debate is what makes Eli not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Because the first ballot, it's got to be consensus. It's got to be this. Because you look at the guys who have been first ballot throughout history. We'll throw out some first ballot quarterbacks. Dan Marino. Any question he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. One of the best of all time. Dan Marino was. Joe Montana's got 3 rings or 4.
I think Joe's got 4.
So he's got 2 more than Eli. Okay, so you take 2 away. Joe Montana's still fucking Joe Montana.
Yeah, but you got to put in the fact that Joe Montana led one of the dynasties. That he's one. He's part of one of the dynasties with the 49ers.
I don't think they're comparable.
What about Jim Kelly? I would say Jim Kelly's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I think
Because Jim Kelly
went to 4 Super Bowls. I mean,
didn't fucking win one of them. He was still one of the best, though.
Yeah, but I think we need to look at it in the more recent standpoint of quarterbacks rather than all this. Like I don't think Eli Manning is a better quarterback than some quarterbacks now who, when they retire, will get first ballot looks. Like I don't think he's a better quarterback than Stafford, and I don't think Stafford should be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I think Stafford should be first ballot.
He doesn't have the accolades, man.
He's got some All-Pros. He's got like 2 or 3 All-Pros.
The second team, never first team.
I don't care about that. First team, the line between first team All-Pro. That's Detroit wasted Stafford.
I mean, sure enough, but he's still never had the accolades for it.
He has a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP, and he
doesn't have a Super Bowl MVP. Cup won it.
Oh yeah, Cup did win it.
But I
would still say Stafford as a first ballot Hall of Famer. But I guess that's just circling back to if there's a debate, then he's not.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, since we're in the topic for arguing, Josh Allen won league MVP over Lamar. What'd you guys think about that?
I didn't really care who won it, to be honest with you. I mean,
it
was going to go to one of them. You knew early part in the season that it was going to go to one of them. I mean.
I think it was. I don't have any like super strong feelings. I don't care that much.
I'm not mad that Josh Allen.
No, I do think he didn't deserve it though.
No, I
think it should have been Lamar. He had the better stats in literally every single category.
Yeah.
And like he won first team All Pro.
You can't be mad Josh Allen won it, but yeah,
it seems like they gave it to him on like all the intangible things of just like, oh well, he carried the team more. Like
I'm not mad that he won it, but I think at that point it's a popularity contest.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar has already won 2.
He's already won 2. They probably weren't giving him a third.
They gave him the Embiid. MVP. He was due, even though he didn't have the best season. And I don't know. I just think I don't think he deserved it, but I also understand that Josh Allen is a playoff elevator, and that was the last game that they watched of Lamar was him blowing it in the playoffs, and it just. I mean, I don't know. Allen's always been good in the playoffs, good in the big moments, and he has carried that team for multiple years now, and he was going to get one eventually. I just wish that, like, in a couple years, looking back on it, we could say that Allen won it in a year that he really deserved to win it.
He's going to have a better year than this.
He is, and I think this just opens up for, like say, like, next year or the year after Allen has, like, an insane year, but then, like, Burrow also has an insane year. And it was like, oh, well, Burrow hasn't won it. And then, like, the same thing is going to happen.
Burrow's going to win it.
And everyone's going to say Allen got snubbed. I just wish, like, it should go.
Voter fatigue sucks because that happens way too often. Voter fatigue happens. Vote for who is the best player.
Yeah, I mean, you can't vote Lamar for the best quarterback for All Pro based on the stats and then say that Allen was the most valuable.
Yeah,
it just doesn't make sense. I'm not like mad because I think Allen is also like a superhuman player. But I just think if you look at the scope of the season, Lamar had a better year.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you a stat that jumps out when you look at Josh Allen is since he's became a starter, that team's lost no more than 6 games in the season, and he has just over 26,000 yards in 7 seasons.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I mean, he's creeping up on 200 passing touchdowns. And I just think it's dumb luck that they haven't beaten the Chiefs in the playoffs.
That's what I said. Yeah, man. Like voodoo magic, like the Chiefs sold their souls.
I mean, they came back in this last playoff game to take a brief lead, just to have the defense just let the Chiefs go down and just punch them in the face. I mean,
the refs kind of punched them in the face too.
Well, the refs, yeah. I mean, you shouldn't have to even worry about that.
No,
like the rest, but unfortunately,
he's always been hamstrung by the team around him a little bit. The team building's always been questionable.
And plus, he's built like a linebacker. When that guy takes off, he's got a little bit of speed to him. You know, he's a Mack truck coming down the field.
They're very comparable players, Allen and Lamar, and
yeah.
I think he's not even like undeserving of an MVP. Like I think he had an MVP caliber season, but I almost wish that like McCaffrey had won it last year, so Lamar could have won it this year when he was more deserving. Because I think last year Lamar's MVP season was a little bit weak.
I wish Barkley won it this year.
I don't think so. I don't think Barkley deserved to win it.
I mean, like every quarterback throws for 4,000 yards and 40. Not every quarterback, but every time there's an MVP quarterback, he throws for 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns.
Saquon, 2,000 yards. I mean, that's
Saquon is not even the 10th player in league history to rush for 2,000 yards.
Yeah, but
like
not
Chris
every-
Johnson should have won an MVP.
Not every quarterback runs for 900 yards though, or runs for 10.
Well, like Lamar was my favorite. I thought Lamar should have won it. I just wish there's.
I wouldn't have been mad if Barkley.
I also wish
No,
they
I
took
don't
playoff
think so.
success into accountability and just made it a whole season MVP because then Saquon would also have a better
He would.
better argument. All right, so we got the draft coming up. This will close us before we get into our go to the week picks.
Mm-hmm.
So the Senior Bowl and the Shrine Bowl wrapped up. Jackson Dart balled out, as everyone knew he would. Riley Leonard also had a secretly good Senior Bowl performance. Shador went to Shrine Bowl practice and then just didn't play. So the rookie quarterbacks here, there's 10 rookie quarterbacks set to be picked in the draft. Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, Jalen Milroe, Jackson Dart, Kyle McCord, Quinn Ewers, Will Howard, Dylan Gabriel, Curtis Rourke, and Riley Leonard. So to that, I want each of you to rank these 10 quarterbacks 1 through 10. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Sal.
So I'll go Cam Ward, Shador. I will say I like Milroe more than Dart, but maybe not like immediately. I think Dart would be better if he came out right now, but I think if you let Milroe sit for a couple years, he could be better.
Okay.
So I'll say Milroe, Dart, and then I'll go Ewers, Howard, McCord, Gabriel, Leonard, Rourke.
Wow. Okay. That's a pretty cut and dry list. Do you want to go next? You want me to go next?
Go ahead, buddy.
All right. I'm going to throw a couple curveballs here, gentlemen.
Okay. What do you got, Howard?
I'm
one?
going to start it out with Cam Ward 1. I think Cam Ward's probably the best quarterback in the class. But number 2, I'm going Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord has probably the best throwing mechanics in the draft. Real talk. Kyle McCord fucking averaged almost 700 RPMs a throw at the Senior Bowl. He performed really well at the Senior Bowl. He balled out. Kyle McCord was sweet at Syracuse this year. I could argue had a better year than Sanders had. I'm a Kyle McCord believer, man. I think Kyle McCord is going to be sweet, so I got him at number 2. I do have Shador at number 3. I have Will Howard at number 4. I got Jackson Dart, number 5. Milroe, number 6. Ewers, number 7. Gabriel, 8. Leonard, 9. And Rourke, 10.
Kyle McCord.
Kyle McCord, number 2. To here. I got the list right here.
I don't even disagree that much. I think they're all pretty close, to be totally honest. I don't think there's a runaway favorite.
No, definitely not. All right, give us your 10.
Where would you put Quinn Ewers?
I put him at 7, I think.
Seventh?
7.
I think I have him at 6.
Silas likes Quinn Ewers more than Will Howard. He's been very defensive of that take, even though I've tried to sway him off of it.
How's Cam Ward's mentality in the next level?
I can tell you this. Cam Ward broke. Who set the? Was it Sam Bradford who had the record? Cam Ward in the bowl game set the single touchdown, like the career passing touchdowns record or something like that for a college career, and then set out the second half.
No,
and then
when I'm talking
Miami
mentality,
lost.
I mean how's he going to be in the locker room?
I think he's pretty.
Players are
level-headed.
I don't think the.
He's not going to be a problem. I
don't think like the he's so chill in the pocket. I don't know if that's going to translate, but I do think he's a pretty even keel player. I don't see him causing problems in the locker room.
I think players are going to like him in the locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially.
So out of the two, who do you think is going to have the better career, Ward or Sanders?
I think it depends where they go. To be honest,
I would say Ward has a better career. I think he's a better athlete.
I think it depends where. If Ward goes to Cleveland, and then if the Giants get Shador, I'm gonna say Shador. I'm definitely gonna say Shador. The Browns are just the Browns are never going to have a good quarterback.
They're terrible. But the Titans do pick at 1, so
I think they're going to draft Hunter though. I think all of this is just a smokescreen. I don't think they draft Ward at 1. I don't know. They're going to suck this year too. You might as well.
Let's hear the list here.
Yeah.
I like Jackson Dart.
Number 1?
Number 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's going to be the best quarterback in this class.
Okay.
Where do
you think he's gonna go?
I think his arm's better. Probably the best arm in this draft.
Wow.
He's got a live arm to him.
I don't
he can move. He can move out of the pocket. He can make plays out of the pocket.
He has not made a full field read one time though in college.
He didn't have to. He didn't.
Yeah, but
he still could.
Yeah, but every time he's played a good defense that shuts down the half field read, Old Miss falters horribly. It's about processing a lot of times. More
They
than
beat Georgia.
intangibles. They did, but Georgia blows, or they did blow this year.
I don't. He averaged over 11 yards an attempt. So the guy can stretch the field.
Look, I don't.
And then once you get him in an NFL locker room with the playbook and everything else, it's a different game up at the next level. I just think he's going to transition well. He's got a good frame on him at 6'2", 230, something like that. It's
220 somewhere in there. He's
he's
built pretty well.
I think he's going to. I would like the Steelers to get him, but hell, there's no way with him going as high as he's going to go.
He might not. He might.
I could see him being one of those guys that gets a bunch of hype then falls.
Yeah, he could fall.
He might go on like the Levis.
I will say,
he might.
If he was there at 20, I would be or 21, I'd be all in on Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think. Hands down, though, Ward and Sanders are going to go 1, 2, or 2, whatever.
This is just your rankings. This is just where
you can flip.
So are they 2 and 3?
Dart, Ward, Sanders, and then after him,
That's where it gets interesting.
That's where, I think somebody's going to reach on Jalen Milroe. I do think somebody's going to reach on him. I could definitely see Kyle McCord.
He's getting some hype.
He's getting some hype. I think
I like McCord, man. I'm on the McCord train.
McCord might go top 10. Top
I hope
15.
he does.
But when you go to Will Howard, I don't know if Will Howard makes it to the second round.
You think, wow.
I think
he's predicting a run on quarterbacks.
I think there's going to be a run on quarterbacks, and I think there could be 5 or 6 taken in the first round.
Wow.
I don't know about that. I think,
or maybe early in the second round. I think there's going to be a run of them though.
Mm-hmm. I think I like a lot of these guys as like value picks down the board rather than I do like, oh, he's a clear cut top
kind of like
pick.
the Pickett draft with Will Levis and
I just think like
Ritter,
you kind of
because all those guys were supposed to be first round picks. Will Levis was supposed to be
that very well might be, but I kind of think there might be a run in the first and second round.
There could be.
There very well could be.
It is a weak free agency class. That's worth noting.
And what are you going to do? Are you going to pop, 20 million on Sam Darnold, or you want to take a flyer on one of these young kids coming in
I'd say I'd rather
for a rookie contract for the next 4 years?
I'd rather have like Dart for rookie money than Darnold for 20 mil. But I do think that it would be a mistake to take most of these guys in the first round. But there are a lot of quarterback needy teams picking high, and a lot of these quarterbacks have some like really high potential. I just don't think that it all
rookie quarterbacks are like the move now. Rookie quarterbacks are coming in and performing. Even if it's not Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix performed. And Michael Penix performed.
And they performed,
I just wonder why it took so long to get Penix out on the floor.
Because they paid $50 million.
Why was that, Ethan? Why was that?
He's coming off an Achilles, man. He was able to sit in one formation. All right, he's a play action passer.
But he didn't run play action because he couldn't move.
Exactly.
Isn't he 40?
Couldn't move. No, he's not. He's 34.
He's got to be older than 34.
He's 34.
And that just shows how over his career is.
It's not over. He's coming off an ACL.
He's good at going on 37 or 38.
He's not. Look it up.
He was at Michigan State, 30 years ago?
Look it up. All I'm saying about...
He's going to be 37 years old. And he's coming off of what again?
Coming off an Achilles. His career's not over.
Yeah, it is.
Career's not over.
Not over, but he's gonna have a job somewhere.
Was Brett Favre's career over when he left Green Bay?
What kind of
Brett Favre was coming off. It wasn't an Achilles.
Was one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Kirk is like not
Kirk
at all.
Kirk is like not at all.
This should never be the same conversation.
Ethan, you gotta kind of put this to bed, buddy.
I'm not.
You're saying every year he's getting younger.
Now,
'Cause I think I just asked you that not too long ago, and he was like 32 or 33.
Look,
now he's 34, actually going on 37.
Look, I think this makes the Kyle McCord at 2 pick a lot more clear to me.
Kyle McCord's legit. Kyle McCord's going to be a good quarterback. He's the.
I'm not saying he's not.
He's probably the best passer in the draft.
You just like those big white quarterbacks. He plays the game the right way. He stays the game the right way.
I put more than one, man. Piss off. Don't try and fucking put this on me.
I do think, though, with when you look at the free agency on the quarterback side of it, and that's the only reason that I'm saying I think there might be. That's why I'm saying there might be a run at quarterbacks in the first couple rounds of this draft, because nobody wants to pay those guys that kind of money if they absolutely don't have to.
I can get behind that.
I don't even fucking care what either you say for the rest of the show.
That's fair enough.
Are you part of the Kirk Cousins fan club?
I'm the leader. I'm the leader. Give me my phone back. I gotta see what our next fucking.
He's leading Dust Bunnies.
Captain Kirk.
Yeah, so
you like that? I do like that. I do. Give it time, man. Kirk hasn't retired yet. When Kirk retires, when the writing's on the wall, all right. The mural is just getting.
On, man. You're getting tough.
All right. We're fine.
2026 quarterback ranking.
Yeah. Some quarterbacks are coming back. They're okay. All right. So it's actually we had some surprises. Not as many people declared as we thought were going to declare. We thought Carson Beck was going to come out. We thought Drew Allard might come out.
I think Carson Beck didn't come out because of his injury. If it wasn't for his injury.
Carson Beck sucks.
He also stinks.
All right. So Carson Beck, Drew Aller, Arch Manning, Jalen Daniels, and Cade Klubnik, all quarterbacks coming back. Rank them again. 1 through how many? Or 5. These are going to be the best quarterbacks, I think, in the country. They're could be others.
You want to go first this time? I
went with all who are going to be draft eligible as well. It's worth noting. So I will go first. Starting it off, Arch, I'm going to go with number 1. I don't think I really need to defend that. Arch is sweet. Number 2, I'm going to throw another curveball. Jalen Daniels of Kansas had a piss-poor start to the year. Last year, Jalen Daniels was sweet. He had a sweet year. He's a dual threat. Second half of the year, Kansas came on really fucking strong. I think they ended up even making a bowl game after their piss-poor start. And Jalen Daniels beat Colorado. He did do that. I just like him. I'm really high on him. I think he'd be sweet in the Steelers uniform.
So did Dylan Raiola beat Colorado too?
Dylan Raiola might be sweet.
He might be all right.
I just don't have him on here. He's not draft eligible yet. All right, and then after that, I'm going to go with Drew Aller, who Silas would put as the number 1 quarterback.
He's a big boy. You've got a big arm on him.
You're coming out this year. And then after that, I'll go Beck and Cade Klubnik. But I think Cade Klubnik's sweet, too. I like him. Actually, I'm going to go Beck last. I'm going to put Cade Klubnik at number 4. Okay. Beck at number 5. Beck sucks, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I also think he's just like a cancer to the locker room. I just think he's a bad guy to have in your team.
Dude, he's gonna bring his fucking girlfriend into the locker room and shit. She's gonna Travis Hunter his ass and cheat on him with everyone.
You know what else I like about Drew Aller? He's an Ohio boy.
Who fucking cares? He's not an Ohio boy. He's banished. No, he's banished. He went to Penn State.
Don't care.
Banished.
He's an Ohio boy.
Banished.
All right, on that train, I'm having Drew Aller at 1.
Okay.
I think.
Wait. Let me hold you right there. I have a question for you. Is Chase Herbstreit an Ohio boy?
Unfortunately, yes.
No, get the fuck out of here, man. Going to Michigan. It ain't no fucking Ohio. All right, continue on with your Ohio boy at number 1.
So I've got Aller at 1. I think his jump from freshman to sophomore year was pretty substantial.
He's a good prospect. He's a good prospect.
I foresee another significant jump from sophomore to junior year. I think coming back to the college was a good move. I have Arch at 2. Like you said, I don't think that needs too much. He's got so much potential, so much hype. They're
gonna have weapons too. Mm-hmm. Texas is gonna be sweet. I'm kind of worried about Texas. Quinn Ewers, I think, hindered Texas a little bit.
I am a little concerned of we haven't seen hardly any of Arch. So there's just kind of like the unknown, and we've already seen the leap from Aller, which is why I'm putting him above.
That's definitely fair.
He's more, and then I have Daniels at 3. I think I agree. He's had a pretty up and down college career, but overall, he's got all of the high end talent.
He sure does.
And then I'll put Klubnik at 4 and Beck at 5 as well. I think Klubnik I don't think he's very good, but I think he's better than Beck. Beck is not very good at all.
Beck blows. Carson Beck sucks at football. Carson Beck, if you're listening, you suck at football, and your girlfriend is a better athlete than you are. All right, Dad, your turn.
I'm going to piggyback off of Silas. I think Drew Aller. Then I'm going to go Arch Manning. I'm going to go with Jelon Daniels, Klubnik, and then Carson Beck. I'm not high on Carson Beck at all.
No.
I don't think he's got the arm for it. I don't think he's built for it, but who knows. But getting back to Drew Aller, I do think he's going to take another step forward. But in saying that, if Penn State can't beat Ohio State when it counts, it doesn't matter. And if they can't do it with this team, they're never going to do it.
Yeah.
But
everyone's coming back from Penn State.
Yeah, everyone's coming back from Penn State. I mean, I think they're definitely going to be in the run for another playoff spot and challenge Ohio State. I mean, I do think.
Fuck Drew Aller, Julian St. Clears.
I think Ohio State could be hurting at that spot.
All right, well, I think that just about wraps us up, man. We'll be back tomorrow.
Are we bringing you the go to the week picks?
We are. I'm getting to my soliloquy first. We'll be back for the Super Bowl tomorrow. Just me and Silas. Pop's got to head out real early. Pops, we appreciate you coming on the show.
Man, thanks for having me, fellas.
We'll run it back. We'll definitely
run it back.
Absolutely. So
good times.
Since it's his first episode on Wide Right, I think it's only fitting we let the
No. You gotta go. I want last say.
All right. Well, I think didn't I go first last week? I think I did.
I did. You did. Yeah.
All right.
So I'll
lead us off, baby. Go to the week.
I got Rob Pelinka. I think he's been cooking. Yeah. I mean, this is we talked about all that he has been cooking earlier. And I think he's just. There's been a lot of talks this year of just the Lakers just.
He saved his job. Rob Pelinka saved his job.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk of just like the Lakers are going nowhere, or they're an aging roster, all their good stars are going to walk, and now they have probably one of the, maybe the best star to have going.
That's
forward.
A sweet pick, dude. I like the Rob Pelinka pick.
I'm going Rob Pelinka.
All right. My go to the week. I'm keeping it on the hardwood. I think this is like my fucking fifth go to the week who plays basketball. Actually, no, I picked big Jeremy McNichols. So this will be my fourth basketball player.
That one backfired on you.
Yeah, that one sure did. Oh, but this is a guy I can depend on. This is a guy who I've grown to love over his last 5 seasons with my beloved Cleveland Cavaliers. My go to the week this week, I'm going Sam Merrill, who last Friday scored a career high 27 points in a 144-101 win against the Mavericks, hitting another career high 9 threes in that game. So Sam Merrill, it's my go to the week, and I'm going to hand it over to Dad for his first ever go to the week pick. Dad, the floor is yours.
I'm going out of the box here. I'm thinking out of the box, fellas. I'm going on the equestrian side.
What does that mean? What on God's green earth does that mean?
You don't know what equestrian means?
No, I know what it means, but what? What are you thinking like a horse jockey?
I'm going to horse jockey. I'm going with a big shout out to Katie Van Slyke. An overnight sensation was born. A former champion was born by the name of Kirby to the horse farm of Noel, Tennessee.
I don't even know what that means.
I'm afraid I'm not following you.
I'm throwing it out to Kirby. Kirby's my go to the week, man.
Who is Kirby?
He's
a brand new foal, just born. Gonna be a racehorse champion.
Oh, so you're predicting the racehorse
That's
champion?
right. That's my go to the week.
So what is this?
Overnight labor, man. The boy came hard. He came up within an hour. He's ready to roll.
So this is
Your
like
goat of the week pick is a horse.
A horse, just born.
dude, this is
Just
in
born.
in 4 years. This is going to pay off.
Oh, I know it is. All right. Well, with that, we have been Wide Right. Thank you all for listening. This has been a fantastic episode. We'll be back at you tomorrow with our Super Bowl picks to round off the episode. As always, take care.